to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about the menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle, because you're ladies and you're going to menstruate like after 45, so you have to know what's happening with your system and how to deal with it. So we're going to talk about the cycle itself. We're going to talk about how to know your cycle. Yeah, basically that's it. Okay, so the cycle has 4 stages. It's just in preparation for pregnancy, and if pregnancy doesn't occur, you menstruate. So menstruation is the last phase, but because it's what we actually see, we think it's the first stage, but it's basically the last stage. But that is when you can start tracking your cycle, so people think it's the first stage. It can be the first stage for you, but so let's start with menstruation. Okay, menstruation is just the shedding of the uterine lining after the uterus has not been able to find any baby. There's no fertilization, so the egg and the uterine lining has to come off because it has to prepare again. So that's the menstruation basically, and the menstruation lasts for 3 to 7 days. Yeah, on the average 3 to 7 days. So if your menstruation is lasting for more than 7 days, and I think you should see the doctor. So 3 to 7 days, but the average is 5 days. 5 days you're done menstruating. So next after menstruating, we have the follicular phase. That's from day 6 to day 13. In the follicular phase, 2 separate things happen, because the ovary is also working and the uterus is also working. So in this particular phase, we have estrogen surge in the beginning, because the uterus has to prepare for another pregnancy. And then we have follicle stimulating hormone from the pituitary, somewhere in your brain, hypothalamus. Okay, so it's secreted and it goes straight there and tells the ovary to start working. That's the follicle stimulating hormone. It tells the ovary to start preparing your follicles. Actually, you have a lot of follicles since you were born, about 2 million, but it's used in developing sexual characteristics. So by the time you're ready to menstruate, you have like 100,000 of them. Yeah. They are not actually mature, so this follicle stimulating hormone stimulates the ovary to mature those eggs. Okay, so we are done with the follicular phase. So the follicular phase ends at day 13, and day 14, that is actually ovulation day, the day 14 of the menstrual cycle. We are using the 28-day cycle, so that's when ovulation happens. And ovulation, basically the egg popping out of the ovaries into the fallopian tube for the finger-like. We need to learn anatomy. Don't mind doing. Okay, so that's basically the best thing out of the ovary. And then it's associated with certain signs. So to know you are ovulating, you would have painful breasts, not for everybody. So at least you find 1 or 2 of them working for you that you'll be able to realize. Okay, so you have painful breasts, you have sharp pain in the lower abdomen. That's when the ovulation actually happens. Okay, that's the sharp pain. Then you have a pinkish discharge, because the fluid, the ovum, it's in a container. Let's say it's in a container, so it just bursts out, and the fluid lubricating it will come out as the pinkish discharge. Not for everyone. And then there will be an increase in temperature, just a little, but you'd have to be tracking your temperature to be able to know there's an increase in temperature. And then there will be a sticky cervical mucus, because your body is fertile, is ready for any spermatozoa. So then we move to the luteal phase. The luteal phase is actually significant only in pregnancy, because if you're not pregnant, then the luteal phase doesn't really work. The stage where the container where the egg bursts out from changes color, so it becomes the corpus luteum. Okay, and then that is what sustains the egg for some time before fertilization. So the egg lasts for 24 hours, so that is what provides the egg with the nourishment for those 24 hours. Yeah, so after the 24 hours, if there is no fertilization, then the corpus luteum dies. But if there is fertilization, then the corpus luteum lives on. So the luteal phase, that's it. And then it's sustained by the luteinizing hormone. That's basically it. And then we move back to almighty menstruation. luteal phase has happened, follicular phase, ovulation has happened, and there was no sperm. So it has to shed off, and prepare for another baby. So the egg has to come out because it died 24 hours after it was born, actually. So it has to die for a fresh egg to come out. Okay, so I think we are done with the menstrual cycle. Very short, we are done with the menstrual cycle. I'll put a link in the description box for a video on how the hormones play on us physically and emotionally, so we'll see that. Okay, so to the second part of the video, we're going to learn how to track our menstrual cycle. Okay, so if you menstruate, you take particular date of when or when the menstruation started. So it started on a Wednesday, then you count 4 Wednesdays after that on your calendar, and if it's a 28-day cycle, you move back 1 day, then that is when you are likely to menstruate. Okay, it's plus or minus 1 day depending on your environment, the food you eat, your emotions, a lot of things take stress and everything, a lot of things affect your menstrual cycle. So, and then if it's a 30-day cycle, you add 1 day. So if it's a Wednesday that you started menstruation, then 4 Wednesdays after that you add 1 day. So then 4 Wednesdays after that plus a day, that's Thursday, you're going to start menstruating. So you can choose that on your calendar. It's easier to locate it this way than counting 1 to 28. So I think that's an easier method. Those who are planning to get pregnant, then you start after you menstruate, the days you count, because the sperm can last in a woman for 3 to 5 days. So after you menstruate, if you have a 28-day cycle and you menstruate for 5 days, so after day 5 you have day 6, day 7, day 8, day 9, day 10. From day 11, okay, if you want to get pregnant, you can start having sex to implant to get pregnant. Okay, you get it. So day 11, day 12, day 13, day 14. Day 14 is the most probable day that you get pregnant, and the egg lasts for 24 hours. So day 15 you may get pregnant, but after day 16 no, pregnancy might not set it because the egg has already died, unless it's a miracle. And don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe for more good content. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.